I know it's been a long time, and I apologize. But today on the channel, how about some quick and dirty cornhole boards? As always, excuse my mess. One of my projects needs to literally clean my garage. But yeah, quick and dirty. How about 2x4s and some 1/2-inch plywood? So, we're gonna make a 2-foot by 4-foot frame out of the 2x4s. So, you'll need to cut two pieces into 21 inches. Well, for one board. So, you obviously need 4 pieces by 21 inches, and then you will need 4 pieces by 48 inches. And then for the legs, you are going to need just 12 inches each. Could get it down to 11 and a half, but it's better to go long because we're going to cut an angle at the bottom of them so it sits straight. So let's get started by putting these together. I'm not going to bore you with me sawing boards, but basically you're just going to need 4 8-foot pieces of 2x4s. And then I literally bought 2 sheets of sanded ply that were already 2 feet by 4 feet. So if you haven't guessed, our boards are going to be 2 feet by 4 feet. All right, let's get this frame together. So yeah, I was up in New York visiting some relatives, and my brother and I were playing cornhole. I've always liked cornhole, never really played it very much. And my brother just kept spanking me even though I kept wanting to play, and I'm like, you know what? I want to get better at this game. So obviously needed some boards, and I didn't even look at boards. I was like, we can build these. So plenty of things on the web on how to do this. HGTV has them, Home Depot has them, Lowe's has plans. They all kind of are the same. This one, obviously, like I said, is going to be quick and dirty. That one up there is painted white. You're like, ooh, why is it just white? But my daughter is going to paint it. She's going to paint something on it. I don't know what yet. But anyway, she's got her blank canvas. So, on the side, which is kind of the nastier side of these, I do want them to kind of get put together with the growth rings kind of, you know, like this. So, concave side out. So, just deciding which is the nastier of the top versus the bottom. And right now I'm planning on this being a bottom that's facing up. This one's both got knots, but anyway, I'm going to use some wood filler on some of these knots anyway. But for knots though, I think I'm going to go with this being the bottom, because those other knots are pretty nasty. Alright, so I actually have my piece of plywood on this table just because I want it a little more flat. This table was kind of crappy. But anyway, this is going to be pretty simple. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to put a little exterior wood glue on these just for a little strength. Whether it's going to do anything, who knows. Then I'm going to use 3-inch screws to put it in. So let's get going here. Alright, so frame is together. I've got it facing up, upright, where we're actually going to attach the piece of plywood. So obviously what are we going to do next? We're going to attach that piece of plywood. Make sure, look at your plywood, decide which face is the best. You're going to want that facing up, obviously. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a bead of glue all the way around the frame here. Put the top on, and I'm going to start fastening it with 1 5/8 inch number 8 deck screws. I'm going to countersink those. So if you want a cleaner top, I'm going to paint mine, so I'm going to fill those all with wood putty and sand them flush. If you want a cleaner look, you obviously could use pocket screws, but again, this is quick and dirty. So let's get to it. Alright, next what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around with my Orbital sander on 220. Right now I'm just going to go over the holes to get the countersinks all flushed. You probably noticed too in the first typer laps of me putting the frame together, I actually was using, I started with just a pilot bit. I decided it was better, I just kind of wanted to countersink them more. The wood felt like it was going to split, so I just used the countersink bit instead. Also, I do notice some glue leaking out. I'm going to take a sponge, go around on those and clean the glue up. Now we got to put our hole in. So, supposedly regulation cornhole boards are obviously 2 feet by 4 feet, and the hole is 6 inches, 9 inches down from the top, and obviously center. So, let's measure 9 inches down from the top first. Got a square here. Alright, I'm going to measure 12 inches in. The mark is way off here. Grids, we should be able to go from here as well. Actually, he's off a little bit, which makes me wonder about my plywood. The reason you buy plywood is because it is machine made. Well, it's 12. This side a little more, so a little bit over. Remember, measure once, measure twice. That works. That is not. Okay. We're going to do the further line. If we flip it, hopefully it's the same. About 1/8 of an inch. Yeah. So, back to 3rd grade geometry. For math or art, you get to use a compass. So we're going to double check it again here. That might set from the previous hole. Which looks like it has gotten bigger. So I am going to take a piece of paper, do a little test run here. It's probably about right, but let's just be sure. Looks good. Actually, it's a hair too big. Hang on. Hair too big. Looks good. Who's next? Yeah. That looks good. Alright. My point in. Did. Looks good. So, first thing, I'm going to use a jigsaw. Cut this out. I need to put a hole in so I can get through the jigsaw. Be steady with your jigsaw and you'll get a nice circle. I promise. Alright, some sanding and we'll get it kind of more round. But there's that. Alright, that done. Let's Let's work on the legs. Alright, so I hope you didn't put that jigsaw away. Wear your compass unless you got two. You're gonna need it again. So now we're gonna make a basically a 3-inch radius, sorry, 3.5-inch radius arc on this. So we want to measure down 1 3/4 from the top. So this is where this is going to attach into the frame, so we can swivel the leg in and out. 1 3/4. Obviously that should be 1 3/4 in. So for me, try and cut inside the line. In other words, take off more than less if you're going to err. Basically, we're going to attach it. We're going to see how it swivels. If it doesn't swivel well, then we're going to take it off. We're going to have to sand it, or take the jigsaw to it a little more. But let's go ahead and take this off. If it's ugly, it's okay. Don't be ashamed of it. It's going to be hidden. Remember, we're doing quick and dirty. We're not making some exquisite dollhouse here or something. Alright, I'm going to actually sand it off a little bit. Just kind of rough it up. I got an 80 grit on my palm sander here. I'm going to put her in. So next I'll show you how we attach one of these suckers. So let's attach a leg. So a lot of instructions, they would say to lay the leg flat and then open it, then see how it opens. I found it, I don't know, in the end, I care about how the leg is up more than I care about it down. I want it to fold in, but in the end, I want this to be up. And so I found that actually drilling and attaching it up in the up position got me better results, and I didn't have to go and adjust the arc as much, go sand it, or anything like that. Now, since I'm filming this with you, it's probably going to prove me wrong. So anyway, here is my very, very, very complex method of doing this. You need a piece of cardboard. Mine is from an Amazon box. We'll put this here. I'm going to put the leg down, get it all the way flush to the side there, and then I'm going to clamp. Now I have it the side out where I made my arc with the compass, because that's where we're going to go ahead and drill. And that is not going anywhere. So we're going to use, I've got 4-inch lags here. They're galvanized, and actually they're not lags, I'm sorry, they're through bolts. Carriage bolts, as they would call them. And I've got 2 washers. So what I'm going to do is I'll put this through the frame, and I'll put a washer, right? I'll put the leg, a washer, then the nut. So since I have a 1/2-inch carriage bolt there, I need a 1/2-inch drill hole. So good thing is your compass point should have given you something to start off with. I'm waiting for the point to show. There's a drill from the other side. Hopefully not have the wood kind of snap off so much. There it is. Alright. Now, my clamp's in the way, so. Well, it's snapped on that side, but that's okay. I'm not planning on finishing anything from here down and here, so break snaps. Anyway, you're not going to see it, because even if you do, the good old leg will be in the way. Alright. See how we did. Maybe it feels okay. I know it's loose, but probably don't need galvanized. Zinc probably would have been fine, but I don't know. In case they do just get caught outside, left outside, I'm sure it'll happen. Good. So, didn't make a liar out of me. So, yeah, attach it with it up. not down. And it already is folding flat, so I'm going to do the other side. So the cool thing is, we actually have something that now resembles a cornhole board. One last thing, we got to trim the legs. So the back needs to be the top, the back. So anyway, from the top there, needs to be 12 inches from the ground. So let's get them trimmed. Okay, so the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to slide the board this way, leaving the legs fully extended, and drop them down. So obviously we need something to hold this up. If you got a bucket, paint can, like spray paint can, that might work. I'm using a bottle jack. So what we want is it fully touching. Want the legs obviously fully touching there. We want them fully extended. Make sure they're fully extended. There's no slack in them. And I'm just going to eye it here. Let's see, what do I got? So I got lucky because I didn't move my bottle jack from when I did the first one. However, I just noticed that this guy still needs to forward. Okay. Now we look good. Let's get another measure. I got 12 all around. So what I'm going to do, take my speed square, and we're going to give these a trim. Alright, our legs are trimmed, so the construction part is done. So now I'm going to sand it. I'm going to go over it first with 120 grit, and I'm only going to do wherever I'm going to put a finish. So like I said, for at least for me, I'm not going to do anything with the underside. The only part I'm going to touch is here. So put the sander here down. Nope, not going to do a thing. So again, I'm going to do it with 120. I'm going to follow it up with 220. Get it nice and smooth. Then after that, I'm going to put primer on it. And then for me, at least, this is, well, you putting primer on it might not be what you want to do. If you want to stain it, put some poly on it, be done. I mean, this is where we're all probably going to diverge. I'm going to prime it, and then I'm at least going to put some white finish on just the 2x4s. The top I'm going to leave alone prime because my daughter is going to paint something and she's not telling me what it is. She's already working on the other board. So anyway, when you sand, please wear a mask. Even though I have this thing hooked up to my shop vac, sawdust in your lungs is not a good thing. It is caustic, so I'm going to wear eye protection and a mask, as well as running my shop vac. The shop vac does not really filter out anything. I'm just worried about getting dust at least as much as I can into that and not all over the place like I actually kind of already do. But anyway, I'm going to get to that. I'd give the second board here a spin before it got painted, anyway, because I'm waiting for my other one. So, hope you found this interesting. I suck at this. Hope to get better, and I actually enjoy it. So, hey, maybe I'll get on the circuit or something, and I can retire. Anyway, thanks for watching. Until next time.